he's interacted with both bankers in the private sector and then the SBA and others in government. And there is a clear difference. I mean, one is attentive, one is trying to keep customers, one's trying to get business, and the other one is, well, if they get to it, they get to it. I mean, that's the way bureaucracies operate. And the record of the SBA throughout this whole process, good in some areas, but not so good in others. And I'll tell you that the businesses and the banks that we talk to in this district who have problems with SBA, they end up at our office. They end up with us calling SBA, trying to get some resolution, trying to get people moving. And that really shouldn't be happening. The SBA should be handling these issues. Now, I'll give you my perspective. I was a congressional relations officer at Treasury for 18 years. I've seen the bureaucracy a little bit. And I think this move by the SBA to try to gain some control back of the PPP program when it was actually run very well through the banks might be some, an effort to retain their turf. They see the writing on the wall that if we turn over the EIDL loans and others to the banks, where we can minimize fraud and do better for our customers, that they're going to lose some of their power. So I think that this may be not so much to help everybody, but just as a bureaucracy looking out for itself. Now, I would add, Madam Chair, I just want to do a couple of housekeeping items with you. When do you expect that we're going to get Secretary of Treasury Yellen to fulfill her duties and testify before our committee in person?
We are working to get her to come, as well as the administrator back to discuss the PPP forgiveness. But we're working on the reconciliation package right now. So my guess is right after that, we're going to have the administration come in.
Well, to your credit, I know you've said in the past, and you joined with our ranking member, that you'd wish she had testified a little earlier. And so I appreciate that you're going to continue to try to encourage her to come before us, and so we can have a hearing. And secondly, and I know how important it is to forgive these loans and to make sure small businesses can move on. Most of them have received these monies and have utilized them and have helped. But there are some small businesses still out there that this committee has an obligation to help. And they would, for instance, be in the restaurant arena with the Restaurant Revitilization Fund. When the monies were expended for that, almost $28.5 billion, they went to the people on a priority list that many of us viewed as discriminatory. And the people who are not on the priority list are sitting out there, well over 100,000 restaurant owners, and they haven't received any money. And Congress hasn't done anything to follow that up to this point. Now, that's not, if I just say, I don't think that's fair, because people who are in the business are being helped, and other people who may be in trouble and needing help and going out of business are waiting. And I know the ranking member has a bill, I've co-sponsored it, use reconstituted money, $60 billion. I think let's work together, please, if we can, and get that money to our restaurant owners. They're really needed at this time.
I wish I heard you and many others express concerns about the fact that many underserved businesses and the very, very small businesses didn't get any access to PPP, even though they tried the hardest. And I wish that you were out there compelling the big banks to provide access to those PPP. And
I agree with you, Madam Chair. No, I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of the big banks. And I think the one thing that's come out of the PPP program with underserved folks is that they do not have a banking relationship with community banks and others, and they're in a better position long-term in order to help their small businesses and to be successul. So for that, I think we should be...
Yeah. So that the numbers were there for the world to see.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.